We did this once before.
We did.
I've got 2 boxes here. One of them has come from my mom, as we did in the last video. The other one has come from some guy in North Carolina.
This sounds suspicious.
Yeah, I bought a lot of books, 101 vintage gemology, gem cutting books. I vaguely know what's in here, but I've not seen any high-res pictures at all. So this box is going to be maybe the more exciting one, and then this one from my mom. I know what's in here, but I think we're going to start with this one.
Well, I think generally speaking, we need not to think about what's going to be exciting and what's not, because the fact of the matter is we don't know.
Yeah.
There could be anthrax. Maybe I need my mask.
Yeah. No. Well, I think we're okay.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's get the slice.
Okay. So this is going to be the box from my mom.
Oh.
Shout out to my mom. Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
So I've been collecting books and periodicals on eBay and whatever else for a couple of months.
Oh.
And most of it's vintage.
Can I just say that I really like this one? It says a textbook of precious stones,
Yes.
and I find that title precious.
It's precious. Okay. So let's go through. Most of the stuff's vintage. Some of it's not. And then some of it I'll just pull out. It's not for this video. These are the same book.
Dual wielding
in different editions. Now, I bought this one. This is the second edition of a book that I already have.
What is it?
Okay, this is the Handbook for Amateur Lapidary. In our last unboxing book video, we saw this book already.
Is that real metal?
No.
No, that's a really good finish job.
That's why I bought it, actually. I saw that and I was
Clickbait.
like,
It was before the internet.
So, okay, a little tiny backstory of why I have all these books. I'm writing a new book right now about the history of American gem cutting, and this guy is my main character, J. Harry Howard. He is the object of my obsession right now. So this one's just, we saw this already. It's just another edition of the same book with a couple little changes, but this one is the Holy Grail right here.
No.
Not because of the book, because I already have this book, but because of what's inside. So it says, below is the autograph of the author, Mr. J. Harry Howard, with his signature. The book is the property of W.D. Coote Smith in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
You can read that?
Yeah, and then on the back, purchased from Mr. J. Harry Howard, the author, for $3 in 1948.
A whole $3.
So somebody sent me a picture of this. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And they were just like, it's yours. Yeah. Actually, they just sent it to me for free. I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. So yeah, J. Harry Howard, he is the main character of my new book, because this is the first guy that ever wrote a gem cutting book in America, and to have a piece of, with his signature on it, it's just like,
it's definitely a piece of history, and I'm sure you're channeling him every time you sit down to write.
Yeah, for sure, because so he's in 1935. Right, we're in 2021.
I mean, I've lost track of time myself.
I'm just like wishing that it was 2034. I want it to be 100 years after he wrote his book, like when I wrote my book, but it's not. We're only 90 years. But anyway, the point of the whole story of the early history of gem cutting in America is like, everyone's writing all these letters to each other, and that's how it all gets started. And so J. Harry Howard, one of his frequent correspondents was this dude, Frank Wade, who was basically a chemistry teacher in Indianapolis. Okay. And so he put this book out. This is even earlier, actually. This is like 1918, before even, the textbook of precious stones. 1918 with someone bought it in 1923 or owned it. So
Jeepers.
I'm just kind of curious to see like what, I don't even know what's in this. I just knew that Wade was a dude that,
all the knowledge.
Yeah, I just wanted to know.
It's a pretty thick tome though. We have to think about
I think
that.
this is probably a forgotten early gemology book. I've never heard anyone reference this, but obviously this is, it's a big book.
It's bigger than bite size.
Okay, so let's see what else is in here. So I bought some issues of Rocks and Minerals. This is an early magazine that was just kind of interesting periodicals from...
What, light reading for the mineral-minded?
So and there's lapidary articles in these as well. They had like a monthly series. So I don't know what's in there, but when I find the old ones, I'm just like, it's helping me to...
Companionship,
to get my collection. Okay, let's see what else is in here.
This one's got its own dust sleeve.
Its own bag. Oh yeah, okay. I think this is another early one. 1940, 1937, and 1948. So basically, how I'm thinking about these now is like 1945 is late for me. Like when stuff's past 1945, I'm not really even looking at it anymore because
it's another lifetime.
It's like a different chapter of the story. So when any of these old magazines that are, like 1940, 1937, these are the old ones. So we can kind of look back in time and see like what kind of stuff were people talking about in the world of gem cutting and
So help us understand here. You're saying like this is the time that I'm studying, but why did you choose this time? Like why is this your focal point? You're saying this is old, this is young.
Yeah. So the story of American gem cutting.
Not too much now. You're writing a book.
I know, but it starts in the 20s a little bit, but really in the 30s. 1935 is like for me the focal point because of that J. Harry Howard book. Like that's when the whole movement truly begins with that book.
Because you see more content coming out?
Well, there wasn't a community before that.
Okay.
It's like the community starts getting organized through these different letters that they're writing to each other in these kinds of magazines.
Okay.
Letters to the editors or private letters, which then turn into books. So like before 1935, there's only these little articles that appear here and there in magazines like these.
Okay.
And then there's a book, and then it snowballs. By the time we get to World War II, it's like
a real industry.
Yeah, it's
not
big
just a
already.
hobby.
So okay, what else is in here? Okay, this one also was a gift. I actually have this already, but my copy of this is really, really tattered. So as I was saying, one of the early periodicals at the time, the Mineralogist from Oregon. So the editor of the book is one of the correspondents.
Art.
Yeah, and there's a little gem cutting machine back there. So
Is that Gempeg?
Yeah, exactly. So the editor of this magazine was one of the correspondents that J. Harry Howard was talking to, and so they did this one issue that's totally devoted to the art of gem cutting. So this is just, I have it already, but mine is so beat up, and the cover is totally ripped up. And somebody on Facebook told me that they had this, and I was like, can we trade?
We find a way to...
And she was like, no, you can just have it.
Oh!
She's like, I scanned it already, you can just have it. So
She didn't say that, though, because that might be, an infringement of legal...
No.
Oh, no, it's old,
Yeah,
right?
that's kind of the beauty of this research. Everything's pre-copyright, so I'm totally going to scan and use all of this stuff. This one's kind of interesting. I don't really know what's in here. This is from the Bureau of Mines Information Circular. So this is like a U.S. Department of Interior document about stone cutting and polishing. But sandstone, did you ever see Breaking Away, that movie about riding bikes in Indianapolis? And there's the cutters that are like the townies, and because they're limestone cutters building Indiana University. So I don't know. So that's what these guys are doing. These are cutters.
Yay, guys.
The cutters. So I don't know what's in there, but it could be cool. Okay, this one, I don't know exactly what's in here, but I know that it's important because I wouldn't have bought it otherwise.
That's self-validating, hey?
So, 1934. This is Scientific America, and there's a couple early articles in here about gem cutting from, as I said, before 1935. We're like in the wild, wild west of the cutting world.
Oh, that's antique.
Yeah, and it's really old-fashioned. So. And the binding is very. This one I'm going to be scanning quite quickly, but there's a picture of an old gem cutting machine.
Looks like a wheat millstone.
And Arthur Knapp is another one of the regular correspondences that there's like 10 people that are kind of going back and forth together. And then I got a couple. Lapidary Journal, 1962. Sadly, I think we're going to find J. Harry Howard has died. And
his obituary?
His obituary is in here somewhere. We don't need to see it. You're going to see that in my book, so you'll have to wait for later. This one's actually pretty exciting.
Oh, jeepers.
This one's exciting because this is like the first gem cutting machine that you could really buy. Nobody remembers it anymore, the John's Gem Cutter. It's pretty...
The John's Gem Cutter.
Yeah, it's for those Johns out there.
Dear John, when you've gotten your letter, take up a new hobby.
But this doesn't have a date, but I'm pretty sure this must be 1933 or 1932 or something.
Paper's still well intact,
yeah,
aside from its glossy. Who made that choice?
It's in amazing shape, and there's, as far as I know, there's no surviving machines left, so this photo is really all we have to know what the John's Gem Cutter was like. There's a couple of pictures in some magazines, but I don't know. Okay, so that's the first box, empty. I've been waiting for that one for a while.
Whoa. Thank you for carrying the books.
Okay.
Oh, jeepers.
So this one came from Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville, that's a blessed town.
So this guy, I found him on Instagram. He had this lot of books for sale. So I think he told me that they came from somebody who had, I think they were in Japan. They weren't Japanese.
What?
They just moved all their stuff to Japan.
All right.
And
I'm following this.
And he wanted like $1,000 for the whole lot, and I was like, dude, no way. Like nobody.
It's a lot of dollars.
Yeah, no, and I don't think that there's a market for these. Like I'm the only person that wants all these old books.
So give them to me.
So we negotiated, and he said no. No, I just made my offer, and I was like, that's where it stands. Get back to me later if you change your mind. And eventually he changed his mind. So he sent me the ones that I really wanted here, and the rest he sent to my mom so that they will just wait for me for next year. So again, I don't exactly know what's in here. I just saw the covers, so these ones will be more mysterious. Okay,
more rocks and minerals.
Yeah, I told him.
But this is from 48. The other ones that you were looking at first are from 63, right?
Yeah,
so this really does span some years.
Yeah, the rocks and minerals.
Jeepers.
Oh yeah, okay. This one, wow.
Oregon Mineralogist.
So the Oregon Mineralogist is one of the main magazines that I want to be. Oh yeah.
Because Oregon is a blessed area too.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
More Dixon.
This is why we have to get these kind of old things.
Oh my goodness.
This is J. Harry Howard's faceting machine.
J. Harry
Nobody
Howard.
knows this yet, but I found the machine.
Did you?
It was lost in history, and I found, thanks to correspondence on the internet, I found out where it went when he died. And then I tracked it down, and it had been in storage in a museum.
Dusty.
Nobody knew it was there, and so I have an appointment in February, right? Straight from Tucson, I'm driving all the way across the country to
find it?
To find it, yeah, basically. And here it is, yeah, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, these are hard to find. These are not digitized. The Oregon Mineralogist is super hard to find. Okay, and then these are collected volumes. This is 1936. This should be good. These of the Mineralogist.
Oh, okay.
So again, basically these collected bundles were the reason why I really, really wanted this lot, because
and it's using resources like this that you're able to unravel the story. Is that correct?
Exactly. Okay. Because like I said, you can't find these anywhere. Like they're not even in libraries. Like they don't exist anymore. So when I saw that this dude had like 30 years of this magazine, and he had the old ones, I was like, okay, is it worth? I had to really think, is it worth $1,000? It wasn't to me, but I made my offer and it worked. So he's got a bunch of years.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. I got them all. This is from the 60s, and these are in great shape, and the smell.
It smells of basement.
Yeah, but not a moldy
not
one.
A moldy
it's a dusty basement, which is good for books. We don't want the moldy basement.
No,
okay,
nobody wants a moldy basement.
Okay, so this one I don't know about, but
that's
I was
a good name though.
Yeah, and also I was interested in this one because of the author, Peter Zodak. He was the guy that made Rocks and Minerals magazine. So this guy knows what's up. And I don't know if these are the same, but I don't even know if these are used. These two, I don't know if they're useful to me. So we'll see what Peter Zodak has going on. I guess this one's probably the coolest, depending on what's in there, but that's March 1930. That might be the oldest thing in the box. And it's kind of amazing, like, okay, this is 90-some years old, right? But I mean, look at the quality that it's in. Like, it's been sitting somewhere for almost 90 years. Some years. And it's still, like, in really nice condition. I mean, I like this one, somebody, Topaz from Utah, on page 1002. Oh, this is so cool, because then you go through here and you see, okay, pictures of old gem cutting machines. It's gold. Really, for me, it's gold. Like, what was available in 1947, that one machine. So we've got a huge
haul.
Yeah, a huge haul. Let's put it all out and see what it looks like all together. The pile just keeps going. And this wasn't all of them. This is just all that could fit in the box. There's another 50 from the dude in North Carolina.
Okay. Do they spark joy, Justin?
Oh yeah.
Well, all right. I mean, you passed the first test.
I'm just gonna have a great month digesting these, figuring out where the beauty is, scanning them for my book, And this one's going to go right under my pillow.
Dreamt and drooled on.
At this point, my wife has prohibited me from saying the word J. Harry Howard in the house because I've said it so many times since COVID started. Like this has been my COVID project. Like besides the diagram book, the American faceting book, and J. Harry Howard is just like the guy. Thanks to Dylan Mooney, who's the friend who sent me the signed J. Harry Howard book just as a gift. I was jealous when I saw the photo. I was like, man, I wish I could have, because he got it on accident. Like it was just an eBay. It was just an eBay purchase. It wasn't meant to be a signed copy, and his was. So I'm gonna have to take that dude out to dinner whenever I run into him. So yeah, that's a good one. So Peter, thanks for.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love smelling dusty basements and seeing old school books.
The bouquet of what what do the 1930s smell like? I've been reading about the Great Depression and the period, and it was dusty.
Well, there were bowls involved and things like that. But really, even though this isn't necessarily my niche entirely, it's like I like gemstones, but all of this like super antiquated lapidary stuff is your thing. But I love seeing two things. I love seeing passion, which is why I'm here. And then I also love seeing things from a time that I've never had a chance to experience or even hear stories from. So I love that you're on this kick, because otherwise it wouldn't have even crossed my mind. But when I see it, I'm like, oh look, that's a star in the part of the sky that I never even turned my head towards.
Exactly.
I think that's great.
And it's just, this whole project has made me realize how cool it is that we can personally possess something from a time that we could never otherwise understand. Besides the fact that, okay, this is a signed book or whatever, but even if it wasn't, like, this book was made in the 1930s. I'm just
with
thinking,
blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. And just like, what was going on at that time in the world as well as in the micro world of gemstone, lapidary world, and just all this stuff. We're looking at Scientific American. Of course, there's so many other things going on in America at this time, but one of them happens to be gemcutting, and it's just like a little slice of American life at this time, and it's just so cool to be able to touch them and to still have them be in such a good quality.
Right, because even though the spine's coming off, it's like I feel like I've got books that were printed 5 years ago that are in worse repair than that.
Yeah,
and not only because of my brutal habits.
Yeah. So yeah, this was definitely a great little unpacking, and I'm excited to go through each one of them. So
delicately.
So thank you guys for coming on the unboxing of a huge parcel of books.
Yeah.
And thanks to Peter for sitting here. If you guys want to learn more from the wisdom of Peter,
oh, thank you.
They can find you.
Gemology for Schmucks on YouTube is my favorite place to be. If you want to learn about gemology and investing in gemstones, Gemology for Schmucks.
And you guys know where to find me because you're already there. Thank you once again for joining us. Thanks to the subscribers, the patrons, and everybody everywhere who's given us some positive feedback and love. And especially thanks to my mom for continuously collecting all this stuff in her mailbox and then putting it into shipping for me.
She doesn't mind hoarding a little bit for Justin. That's great. Yes. That's great.
So, okay, well, we will see you guys next time on the Gemcutter's Craft.